Hello and welcome to your astrological vibrations for Wednesday, October 23rd, 2024 by Gaia Blooming. I'm Mimi and our energy mantra for today is I empower my transformation process. And we are officially in Scorpio season, just maybe I don't know, 2 hours before recording this, the sun moved into Scorpio. Now, most of Wednesday is going to have the sun hanging out at that zero energy. And zero can just feel a little bit wonky. It's an adjustment. But zero actually in astrological numerology resonates with the energy of Pluto. So therefore it resonates with Scorpio. This is prime transformation energy. This is a prime time to commit to your personal transformation process, whatever that's going to look like over the next 30 days, right? It's watery out there. A friend texted me that. You know, we've got that Mars hanging out in Cancer energy still. We've got Saturn and Neptune hanging over in Pisces. And now with the Sun and Mercury in Scorpio, it's just grand trine water. The moon right now is also in Cancer, so it's just kind of saturated, which means there's probably some emotional energy that is coming up, moving through. Now, sometimes we intellectualize it, so you might be like, well, I'm thinking about emotional things. That's okay. That happens. But just recognize that emotions need that motion to help move them through. So see where you can, I don't know, express yourself, express your feels. Maybe it's through dance, maybe it's through writing, but let these energies move through. This is part of the transformation process. I think witnessing and presence for anything is a big part of any transformation process. So Wednesday is quiet the first part of the day, transit-wise, not a lot going on, but the first transit is like, you gotta feel your feelings. We have the moon and Mars connecting in Cancer. Oof. So yeah, you're gonna feel your feelings. They may come on suddenly. It might be a sudden storm moving through. It might be a sudden temper tantrum coming through. It's in the afternoon. Later in the afternoon for most. It's 2:20 that it reaches its peak in Pacific time. So, but you know, nothing's exact. I actually was just telling a friend, I have a theory, because some people are like, I feel the astro before you even talk about it. And some people are like, I don't feel it till a few days later. And some people are like, I feel it in the moment. I'm definitely a little before to feel it in the moment kind of person. But I say that we're like all holding up the sky, right? We're all holding up the sky together, and we can't all go down at once. So these energy waves feel very purposeful to me. So don't expect that at 2:20 on the dot you are going to have your temper tantrum. If you wake up on the wrong side of the bed, what is the feeling that needs to emote, that needs that motion to help move it through? Where are you feeling frustrated? Now, Mars, Pluto and Mars rule Scorpio. So Mars is going to be a little extra potent with the sun now in Scorpio, which means chances are there's a degree of frustration there. So if you're feeling the frustration, what's your motivation? And how can you align with it even in that frustration? Is it just, you know, like feeling your way through it? Can you take active steps in this alignment? Check in with your motivation. I feel like this, it's so like appropriate. I was thinking this before recording that, you know, we have sun in Scorpio to usher Pluto out of Capricorn, you know, because Scorpio really makes us face those depths. And so like the power and control things, it might be that you feel like you have no control with something that's leading to this frustration, but let it move through. I had so much trouble sleeping last night. I think that final degree of Libra was like just too much air for my body, and sleep was not wonderful. So a lot of times I really love David G's voice. He does meditations. And one of the meditations that he had was him just reciting Rumi's guest house verse, which is like, you know, every emotion is like a guest coming into the guest house, and even a storm that moves through, it's clearing you out for the next delight. So invite them all in and be like, here, you're welcome. And I think that that's how we need to face this watery season at the very least. Is like, okay, well, here comes this feeling. Hi, what can I do for you? Or what can you do for me? Even better, right? As the day moves on, Moon and Uranus are going to be connecting. Uranus in Taurus. This is muddy energy. Again, it might be pulling some things out to help you move through. This astro is not necessarily meant to be easy. It's meant to show you where you gotta feel some stuff. And it's okay. It's okay to rock these feels. Moon and Neptune, that's a little bit more like it, kind of softening into the evening. But what I would say with this is Neptune, especially in Pisces, can be a little escapey. This isn't necessarily a call to escape. It's also not necessarily not a call to escape, because I think sometimes we just need the tune out, right? Do your due diligence with your feels. And then if you're like, okay, I'm tapped out, and then, you know, move into the daydream, move into that rest energy. We end the day with the Moon and Pluto in that opposition, super uncomfortable energy. It's a blech for sure. It's a Plutonic colonic. And you might get waves through the day of like, oh, I'm good now. Ugh, I don't feel so great. Again, power and control stuff could be up in and through this. What I do like is the Moon does shift into Leo later in the evening. So hopefully a little heart reconnection, hopefully a little love reconnection. But it is setting us up for the Sun Moon square on Thursday. And the Sun Moon square between Scorpio and Leo can be very passionate, and it can be very anger-inducing, basically. So it's going to be an up and down season. That's all I can say. What I am excited about, I got out my Halloween cards, and I have a great one. So let's look at these cards, and then we'll look at the Halloween card. I laughed when I saw this. It's a 0-degree Scorpio day. The Lover's card in reverse. You may not love anyone or anything today. Your best work is that internal work. I'm not saying that you're not going to love anybody, but like the day in and of itself is just kind of more of a frustrating day in general. So you don't have to push yourself to be joyful. You don't have to push yourself to be friendly. Let yourself sink in. Let yourself love yourself where you're at, basically, is what I'm getting with this. We got some inner child cards going on. We have both the Innocence card and the Outsider card. And so this might be part of the process, you know, going in, facing some of your fears, especially as the Moon is moving into Leo. There may be some childhood shadow stuff to move through. You know, that's where so many things that lead to our conditioning are set in motion. And so it might be about empowering your inner child, and that's where you need to like lend the love at this moment. Speaking of frustrations, I have the postponement card. Again, it feels like, you know, Mars has been kind of like paddling along slowly in Cancer. That's not really Mars's jive so much, and that might be just part of the frustrations, right? Don't get too stuck up in your head about how long anything's taking. I'm hearing a song. Oh, it's so perfect for Scorpio energy. It's more Chiba, Just Enjoy the Ride. Stop chasing shadows, just enjoy the ride. But it's kind of just about like paddling along and being in that moment. So, interesting cards for today. Look at this one. It's a very appropriate one. I love the book too because it has pretty things. So I pulled Witch. And this might be the shadow that you're looking at. I remember when somebody was like, "You're such a good witch," to me, and I was like, I don't consider myself a witch, but I think we all have the witchy archetype within ourselves. I like this part that says, "For the purpose of Halloween, let's look at witches as the weavers of magic and change. Through spells, rituals, herbal recipes, they weave the powers of the world and the next in synergy to solve problems and heal." So it's the earthly weaver of the worlds. And there's all kinds of witches. There's a kitchen witch. There's the cosmic witch who works with astrology. Crystal witch. I looked up kinds of witches. Sea witch, folk witch, Celtic witch, elemental witch, hedge witch, lunar witch. I think there's a garden witch, fairy witch, cottage witch, bruja witch. There's so many interesting witch energies. And like, as I think about it, I personally love using herbs for everything. Like, I'm like, there's an herb for that. There's an herb for that, right? I love herbs. They have been very helpful on my journey. My thoughts have also been, I'm a thinking witch, right? Like, in that way, like trying to help myself heal by aligning my thoughts in ways that support my healing. So it's recognizing what your weaving magic is and how you utilize that, and kind of embracing that as part of your magical self. And that's part of Scorpio energy, is embracing that. You don't have to call yourself a witch if it makes you uncomfortable, but if you are uncomfortable, that might be something to look at. I think those who are uncomfortable are probably some of the ones who are like, if I claim that, am I gonna get burnt again? Like, not in this life. So looking at this, I'm actually going to post the card and the write-up, if you want to read the write-up, on my Instagram. So you can go check that out if you would like that full write-up or to look at the card further. It's Gaia Blooming Instagram, and I think it posts on Facebook under my Mimi Clark page. So there you go. I have offerings coming through, and I'm thinking I should mention it. So I would like to offer more of myself to people, my teaching. I've been contemplating digging deep into the Gene Keys and doing a Gene Keys year-long study where we go into all the Gene Keys through the year and how they connect into our charts and recognize them. I mean, every Gene Key that I'm reading, I'm like, wow, that's amazing. So it would be a study. It's a whole year commitment. And I don't know, I've been thinking about like early bird pricing. If I do this, like early bird pricing would be $333. So let me know if that's something that you're interested in. If I have enough interest, like I really want to dive into this starting at an aligned point within the new year. So let me know about that. Or you can book a reading. Email me about that, mimiclark@gmail.com. And the better it gets, the better it gets. There's more than enough love in the world for you. You have the power, and remember who you are, for you are the solution. Namaste.